SIBO is defined as the presence of excessive bacteria in the small intestine. The symptoms are non-specific and overlap with other conditions, so SIBO cannot be diagnosed based on symptoms. Breath tests are the most common diagnostic tool, but they are very unreliable. Duodenal aspirate culture is considered to be a better test, but a 2019 study showed that it doesn't correspond with patient symptoms. Rather, the overall composition is different in symptomatic patients. This is known as gut dysbiosis. The gut microbiome is an extremely complex ecosystem that impacts and regulates virtually every function in the human body. Very rarely can you simplify things to a single microbe or location. You have to address the entire ecosystem. SIBO is based on some understandings of the gut microbiome that have turned out to be incorrect, such as the small intestine being bacteria-free or being dramatically different from the large intestine. Some of the main reasons the small intestine has a different microbial profile and load than the large intestine are transit time and varying amounts of acids and other secretions. Proponents of SIBO argued that FMT, fecal microbiota transplants, via the top-down or oral route, would exacerbate SIBO because colon microbes don't belong in the small intestine and you're adding more bacteria when the problem is that there are already too many. Clinical trials have shown this to be incorrect. You can treat SIBO with top-down FMT, and if you use a bad donor, you can cause SIBO symptoms, even if you do the FMT via the lower route. Some people argue that SIBO is caused by impaired motility, specifically the migrating motor complex. However, the gut microbiome regulates motility, so if you want to correct motility issues, you need to correct gut dysbiosis. FMT is currently the most studied and complete intervention for correcting gut dysbiosis. Rifaximin is one of the most recommended and used antibiotics for treating SIBO, but the evidence for it is poor. Some of the studies people cite for claims that rifaximin is harmless, if not beneficial, are extremely poor quality. One of the marketing talking points is that rifaximin doesn't get absorbed and is therefore safer. But if it's not absorbed, then it's staying in the gut where it continues to harm the microbiome. There are many patients reporting terrible side effects from this antibiotic, and it's important to keep in mind that antibiotics are inherently harmful, and those harms may not even be reversible with FMT. A 2024 clinical practice update, endorsed by 2 neurogastroenterology and motility societies, concluded that the SIBO hypothesis remains unproven, has led to serious, unintended consequences, and it's time to reject the hypothesis. If you have information to share or questions to ask, feel free to join us on the Microbiome Forum. YouTube comments may be locked or restricted because YouTube randomly removes comments, which makes it impossible to have normal discussions on YouTube now. Our forum and wiki are focused on quality, science, and evidence-based information. Most large social media sites are flooded with misinformation and disinformation, so you have to look for specific sources that are well-informed, evidence-based, and trustworthy.